Hi, everybody. This is why your narcissistic mother or father couldn't stand you. And I've had a lot of folks that I have worked with over the years, and they talk about how I think my parent or parents just hated me. Well, they may have. And there's reasons why. And I've got 7 of them for you. First of all, your innocence. Your having no guile. In other words, when you're young, you're growing up, you're innocent, and probably even manipulatable. You're able to be manipulated. But your innocence is not something narcissists or narcissistic parents respect or like, because they're not innocent. And everything will always be someone else's fault rather than theirs. So that is true. They always claim to be innocent, but they're not happy with innocence, or someone without guile, someone who means ill will. They're not happy with that. They don't like that. And again, they may have never said that to you, but that's a part of what triggers in them their narcissistic personality disorder. Number 2, your dependence. When you were growing up in their household and growing up with them, you were dependent. Narcissistic parents are not happy with dependence. Now, some of you would say, oh, but if I'm dependent and obedient and do whatever they say, then they seem to be happy. They seem to be, but they're not. They don't like dependence because they have a closeness or intimacy conflict. The come close, stay away kind of problem. And so when you come close, that's not something they can handle. That's not something they know what to do with. Because when people come close who are more recovered, more normal, whoever they are, but more normal when we come close, it opens up vulnerability between the two of us. Dependence and closeness pushes that vulnerability, and that's not something the narcissist can be. Number 3, your moments of assertiveness, or when your selfhood starts to peek through. That is hateable by a narcissist. They don't like that assertiveness because however you're assertive, it's wrong. However you're being your own self, especially if it's different from their view, is absolutely wrong. And again, that creates some hate, can create rage, can create lots of reactivity on the part of a narcissistic parent. Number 4, your wavering loyalty or your wavering obedience, we could say, but I like loyalty even better because as we grow, we then have our world gets bigger and we start hearing things outside the family. As an infant, it's the family. As a toddler, it's mostly the family. Then we go off to school and now we got a whole bunch of other influencers. The narcissistic parent hates you for allowing others to influence you besides them. They don't like sharing influence. So if we have that wavering loyalty, which is normal, and that wavering loyalty, often we stay even uber loyal, even when we're being disloyal, because of the dysfunctional family we're living in. But when we hear other people say things, describe things, put our family into contrast, see our parent in a contrasting way, that triggers the narcissistic parent, and they must react, and often in a very negative, if not angry or rageful way. Number 5, you are inconvenient. A lot of narcissistic parents will have children. Maybe many of them shouldn't, but they have children and they don't like the inconvenience. Or they only like the inconvenience of one stage of your life. Not many stages, but one stage. For example, if you're an infant, they dote, they do things like that. Though I know some people whose narcissistic parent was very neglectful, even of infant, and they weren't happy with that stage. So are they happier with the toddlerhood stage, the infant stage, the school age stage, the preteen, the teen, the adult stage? What they have different stages that they're happier with. And many of them, they're not happy with the inconvenience of your development. And they don't see growing up as a developmental path. And when your development clashes with their personality disorder, they will then dislike you, hate you, deride you, and complain, if not punish, and on and on. And I know parents who are in this situation where they will, they don't understand the toddlerhood stage and end up punishing the toddler because they're not acting like an adult. Or a school-age kid. They're acting like a toddler. And also they're starting to become less dependent. That triggers the narcissist. So these developmental stages trigger them significantly. And maybe you can even think about, was there a stage in which your narcissistic parent did better with you? And then other stages, they were terrible. But again, that's one of the problems of being inconvenient for them. They also want to live their life about them and focusing on them. Well, when you have children, that focusing on me shifts where I must share that focus with being a parent. That's not something they're ready for or like, or maybe even believe should be happening. In other words, you should just fit in with me. Stop being a normal developing child. You just fit in with how I see the world and how I see you. And if you don't, I'm not going to like you. Number 6, you take the focus away from them, and our children always do at some points. There's no doubt. I remember when I had my son. I was Andrew's dad. I was no longer Jerry. I was Andrew's dad. And he became the focus, which is appropriate. He was adorable. He was rambunctious. He was gregarious and intelligent. But the focus goes away from the parent. Well, if I'm a narcissist, I want that to stop. I remember a couple whose child, when they were younger, she drew some pictures that were really kind of cool, and she was showing them around. And the parents were not happy about that at all because she was stealing the limelight. And so then she would be derided for being, oh, you're so proud, you're so full of pride, and you need to stop showing off. And it was totally appropriate for her age to do what she was doing. But it was taking away from the focus of her immature, narcissistic parents. And that focus being taken away was a narcissistic injury. And kids are basically a narcissistic injury, is my main point for this video, for narcissistic parents. Because they are a separate human being. And the narcissist doesn't count that cost. Oftentimes they have children because for image reasons, for family pressure, all kinds of other reasons other than I just would like to have children to grow up to be happy and healthy, and I would like to have a family that way. Number 7, they hate you because they have to share influence with other people. And whenever we grow up and as we continue to grow, we have to share that influence with others. The church, school, friends, relatives, neighbors, we have to share that influence. Narcissistic parents, if they're not just neglectful, then they will not be happy with anyone else influencing you but them. And just to be a normal kid, we do take in the influence of the world around us, for good or for bad. Many times it's problematic, many times it's very healthy. narcissistic parent will resist that and dislike you because you are falling for some influence outside of their own. And these are some of the reasons why the narcissistic parent hates us. I want to thank you for watching. I've got an online program that addresses these issues and helps you with them. Your New Road to Self. Please sign up, comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. I want to thank you for watching, and be wise.